Hey, what is up guys? MKBHD here, and yesterday the Moto X was finally unveiled or revealed to the public for the first time, and it was announced and all the specs, everything is official now, and so naturally all the tech blogs did their hands-on and first impressions and compared it to everything possible in a blitz of coverage, and that's nice, but so I have a Moto X, so there's that, and I've gotten a lot of experience with the basics of how this device works, why it does what it does, and why it has the features that it does. So this is the Moto X features explained. First of all, I want to say that a lot of the buzz about this phone is about the launch price of $200 on contract. How can you charge $200 for a phone that seems like it has mid-range specs? You know what else has $200 on contract price? The Samsung Galaxy S4, the HTC One, the iPhone 5. These are all the highest end phones from these respective companies, and they all have high-end specs. But those specs are really just numbers on paper to begin with. I mean, a 720p display versus a 1080p display, a dual core versus a quad core processor, a 2200 milliamp hour battery versus a 2600 milliamp hour battery. These are really just numbers, and the average consumer doesn't care too much about the numbers behind a phone. As a matter of fact, I can guarantee you pretty much everyone who complains about the Moto X's specs is a geek. But that's the thing. Motorola isn't selling the phone to us geeks, at least they're not trying to. They're trying to sell this phone to the average person. We've seen this approach just like Samsung took it with the Galaxy S4. Samsung took the approach of adding tons of wow features that blow your mind. Motorola has seen the same thing, and adding value via software instead of hardware is really why the Moto X is going the direction that it does. So the first of these features that Motorola is trying to woo the average consumer in with is their voice activation, and they call it Touchless Control. So you've probably already seen the Galaxy S4's features where you can control your phone without touching it. You know, you can wave your hand over the screen to change pages, you can scroll up and down web pages with your eyes. All these are physical gesture-based things to try to impress you. Motorola is counting on the fact that you'll like voice-activated stuff. So if you ever want to use your phone just without touching it ever at all, you can see the Moto X behind me right there for this demo. I want to know the weather outside. All I have to do is use my voice to generate that key phrase, and it'll follow up. So, okay, Google now. What's the weather? If I wanted to just know the weather outside without touching it.
It's 81 degrees and partly cloudy in Hoboken.
So you can see that they're banking on this kind of stuff to impress the average consumer. What other phone does that right now? Every other phone that you want to find out the weather with, you have to take it out your pocket, unlock it, and start figuring it out with an app. All you have to do is ask the phone what the weather is. It's kind of like that Star Trek stuff where you can just talk to the computer in the sky and it responds to you. It's pretty impressive, and I think that's definitely the biggest thing that they can use right now in the Moto X to get people to buy it. Okay, Google now. What is the capital of the United States?
Washington, D.C. is the capital of United States of America.
Didn't even have to touch it. Okay, Google now. What is the population of Australia?
The population of Australia was 22.32 million in 2011.
Okay, Google now. How tall is Yao Ming?
Yao Ming is 7 feet 6 inches tall.
Okay, Google now. Who is he married to?
Yao Ming's spouse is Yi Li since 2007.
It's pretty impressive. The next bit of a feature on the Moto X is what's called peak mode with the notifications. It seems minor, but imagine someone walking into a store and the sales rep going, hey, all right, you want a new phone? Every other phone in here, if you want to check your notifications and the time, what you have to do is take it out of your pocket, wake it up, unlock it, check the time, check the notifications, close it back down, lock it up, and then put it back in your pocket. That's the process you have to go through with every other phone. With this Moto X though right here, all you have to do if you want to know the timing and notifications, just take it out of your pocket. It knows when it's been taken out of your pocket. You can peek to view the notifications. If you have any, you can check them. The time's already there. And once you're done, just put it back in your pocket and it locks by itself. All right, so you know that secret Google Motorola event that kind of happened a couple of weeks ago that no one was supposed to talk about? Well, now we can talk about it, and yes, I was there, and while I was there, Guy Kawasaki was explaining to me why he feels that this next feature was akin to what Apple did with the first colored iMacs. On the Moto X, you can customize the back color, the front color, the trim color, the back engraving, and the boot up screen animation with the Moto X. No other phone can do this, and it'll probably be a while before any other phone can. I think there's a certain satisfaction people get out of being able to design and create their own things, and I think the Moto Maker experience really nails it. It's very similar to the Nike ID shoe customization process where you can share the design you made with someone else and they can view your exact design. You can go ahead and mess around with your favorite colors, pick the designs you want, pick the accessories, make everything match up. Basically, spec out the exact phone that you would have wanted with all the trim color on the back and front facing color and everything like that. Choose your storage size, your case, everything. And you can come back to it, save it, come back to it later, and really make it your own before you decide to buy it. The only massive, massive flaw with this is that this is only available for the AT&T Moto X. Motorola, if you're listening, that is the dumbest thing you could have possibly done with this, because this is easily the most unique feature about the Moto X's hardware, and honestly, I really hope this exclusivity ends as soon as possible. So there's also a new ClearPixel camera on the back of the Moto X. It's a 10 megapixel shooter, has an extra clear sensor to get much better low light shots and much faster shutter speeds. But what's gonna blow people's mind about this, and what's really an important feature to sell to the average person, is in order to open the camera, all you have to do is take it out of your pocket and shake it like that. And without even touching the screen, I'm already now able to take pictures. And this is important because when someone walks into the store and sees that and they ask the sales rep, well, does the Galaxy S4 do that? No. Does the HTC One do that? No. Does the iPhone do that? No. Does the iPhone do that? Nope. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get this one. This is pretty impressive. Another thing is the battery life on this phone. Now, I haven't been able to kill this phone in one full day of use, meaning waking up at 9 o'clock and going to sleep the next morning at 2 a.m., I haven't been able to kill this phone. It is said to have a useful 24-hour battery life. I haven't been able to get that much continuous use with it, but I can guarantee you this thing is a power sipper. It is an incredible power manager, and it's most likely in part due to that X8 chip inside, which has a lot of different cores dedicated to managing different things. But that doesn't even matter to the average consumer. That is another spec sheet thing that they don't want to hear. All they hear is this phone has a 24-hour battery life, and none of the others do, except Motorola's Razr Max. But again, this one looks cooler. You can make a purple one. So combining all these features together, that's really what makes the Moto X much more appealing to the mass market. That's really who this phone is aimed for again, and this is why it has all the features that it does. It's a good looking phone, it's a good feeling phone in the hand, very compact, it's got an edge-to-edge display, and it's got a lot of features that are all geared towards the average consumer, the mass market, because they want to sell as many of these guys as possible in the United States, and that is the Moto X's features explained. You know what, this entire video can be summarized with one frame. Check this out, check this out. Geeks value specs versus price. Consumers value features versus price. When you market a phone towards geeks, you focus on those specs. When you market a phone towards the average person, you focus on those features. For us geeks and tech enthusiasts, there is going to be a Google Play edition of the Moto X, so expect to see that in the next couple of weeks, and it'll likely have, you know, pure stock Android on it, and it'll be missing a lot of the Motorola features that us geeks would consider gimmicks. But again, for now, the Moto X is supposed to be Google and Motorola's big seller, so expect to see ads of all these things that we consider gimmicks on TV and all over the internet. But until then, this is not the full review. This is just the beginning of my coverage of this impressive little device here, the Moto X. Stay tuned for all the rest of the coverage. Feel free to leave a thumbs up below if you enjoyed this video, but more importantly, subscribe so you can get the rest of my videos on the Moto X and all sorts of other things that I have coming up in these next few weeks, months, and years down the road. Either way, thank you for watching, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.